Oh, by the way, I'm keeping my phone out right now because I did the AEW hashtag.
You did?
Secret hashtag, and I'm waiting desperately to see if I win that AEW bundle.
Good.
I hope. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Loser Leaves. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Loser Leaves Wrestling.
Yeah, woohoo!
We're keeping everything in. We're keeping, even my blunder, we're keeping in. My name is Red Jefferson. I'm here with Mohit Jazzwall.
Hey, everybody.
Yeah,
There we go. We're getting better at this.
Oh yeah, we're doing a great job. We're in all honesty, just let's talk real quick. We're blowing up. We already have 16 subscribers on YouTube.
It's happening.
Within 2 weeks?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
That's pretty good.
8 of those are ours, but oh, you don't want to do that? Oh, okay.
That's a spoiler.
Yeah. We're getting there. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're all unique individual subscribers. Right, Mohit?
Yeah.
We're trying to con the people.
I was trying to think of like a fake name for you. I was like, Bread Jefferson, subscribe to us. And I just thought,
you called me that before.
I've called you Bread. I probably have called you Bread on accident. Yeah.
No, but as also as a joke.
Oh.
I think you have. I just remember you saying Bread Jefferson.
That's a dumb joke. I hope I didn't do that. Like, I'm making the joke now.
I think I was eating a sandwich. There's something about this that's making sense. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast. We're here talking about Fight for the Fallen today, AEW's Fight for the Fallen. And Mo, how'd you like the show?
I thought it was awesome. I thought, way better than the last couple weeks, I feel. I mean, not to say those were bad weeks, but yeah, I had a lot of fun this time.
Yeah.
Same. Yeah, lots of great matches.
Well, we're going to get into it. I have some issues, but hey, let's not start this on a negative note. We had Cody versus Sonny Kiss in the opener. Solid match. What are your thoughts, Mohit?
I thought it was great. Cody played this like desperate, aggressive heel. I think he's coming out more and more as a heel every match, and I think this is like the first one where he's very clearly going for these moves that are, like he's being very cocky, which he's really good at when he's trying to be a heel. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. 100%. Well, my favorite part of it was Sonny Kiss's entrance. I love that entrance specifically because JR had no idea what to say.
Yeah.
He wanted to be supportive. He was trying. He's just like, well, this is an excellent presentation.
I couldn't help it. I was watching the pronouns. I was curious how JR was going to do, and he's doing pretty good.
He's doing very good.
Still.
And Taz constantly saying him, her. Constantly, which I loved. Like, he'd be like, his or her title, or his or her ability. Like, he'd say he'd use his and her for, historically in wrestling, an announcer would just be like, his title, or the better man will win. Taz has been very deliberate in not doing that, not keeping only a masculine gender,
really?
Which I thought was great.
I did not notice that. That's awesome.
Yeah, watch that Sonny Kiss match again, and Sonny Kiss Cody, and you'll notice that Taz is just being super responsible.
That's great. Yeah, because
responsible.
I sort of had a feeling, I could just tell that Taz was like on it a little bit better than at least JR was. But yeah, that's cool that he was doing that. That's great.
God, I love Taz. I love Taz on commentary.
So good. Yeah, I felt bad. I guess Tony Schiavone was gone because he thinks he might have COVID. So he's waiting for his test results is what I heard. I didn't know about this.
No, I think they usually have pretty rapid test results. I think they mentioned a little bit, but his were delayed for some reason. And as a precautionary measure, they just asked him not to come because they want to make sure he got a negative before he came indoors.
Oh, I see. Okay, so it wasn't like a
issue. But hey, if there is, our thoughts and prayers go to the Tony Schiavone family.
Get well soon.
Yeah. Mr. Schiavone.
Yeah, but I'm also really glad he wasn't there because we got Taz and Chris Jericho instead. And man, they were both on fire all night. It was great. Yeah.
We're going to get to Jericho in a little bit. But even when he blunders words, it's hysterical.
Who, Jericho?
Jericho.
Yeah.
We're going to get to him in a little bit.
What'd you think?
one more thing I want to take. Arn Anderson.
You broke up a little bit. What'd you say?
What'd you say?
You went off a little bit.
Oh, no worries. Well, I was saying, like, one thing I wanted to touch on is Arn Anderson. Like, and you mentioned before that you loved Cody's, like, slow burn heel. And I thought this was the greatest example of it so far, where you just saw him, like, come out cocky and then get confused and then get frustrated. Mm-hmm. And then Arn Anderson, he just, like, he was like, grabbed his head. He's like, get in the game. And I loved the dynamic. I loved what they're doing with that. What are your thoughts on Arn as a manager?
So do you think, because there was a pay-per-view, I forgot which one, but it was with Lance Archer when Cody wrestled Lance Archer. Arn Anderson got into it. Like, he helped Cody cheat.
Yeah.
That's how I perceived it anyways. So it made me think that Arn was going to become a heel with Cody whenever that turn eventually happens.
Sure.
But do you think he's going to stay a babyface, or is he going to...
Oh, no, I think he's going to stay a heel. I love seeing Arn get frustrated with Cody for him being cocky. Like, he was being cocky in the early part where he's like taunting to the crowd, and then Arn's facial expressions are really he's really like digging into his manager role. When like Sonny Kiss did something, he'd be like, God bless him.
There was a really great Skype video, or not Skype, we're on Skype, sorry. There's a really good YouTube video where there was like an interview between those two where he described his role as a manager and how he's like he knows Cody's really great, but he's just there to like kind of to fine tune him and like, you know, and research his opponents. And I think it adds depth to this little storyline they're building.
I love the manager program in AEW. All the managers, I'm a big fan of, and we're going to talk about those in a bit. But next match we got coming on is Lucha Brothers versus FTR, with FDR getting the win. What were your thoughts, Mohit?
I thought it was good. I thought it was really great to see. The story I saw that I thought was fantastic was, like, despite their very different styles, they were going kind of 50-50. They were both extremely good, despite them going about it in completely different ways. And I liked seeing that. Sure.
I feel like that the Lucha Bros and FTR is my favorite tag team already in AEW. I think they're a breath of fresh air. One thing I really love from this, and I want them to do more of, because we talked about it last week, about them coming out in cars.
Yeah.
And I love that they came out in the pickup, and there's a continuing storyline like we talked about with Simpsons Road Rage last week. I love the idea. I almost want all of them to have their specific genre car, you know, like I would love that. They Best Friends come out with Susan's van. They come out with a pickup. The FTR come out with a pickup. I would love just everyone to have their own signature vehicle. So then eventually we'll get some Hot Wheels toys, because right now AEW are doing toys. How do you feel about that, Moment? Did you see them? Did you see
the toy commercial was fantastic. That was so fun. Yeah. They looked like they were just having a lot of fun making that commercial. Like, it felt like a good, like, kid commercial, if that makes sense. Like, things I remembered growing up, just like absurd, like just screaming like V-Trigger. The way like Kenny Omega did that was just super fun. I don't know. Yeah, it was great.
No, it was great. And also they did the stop motion.
Oh yeah, that too.
The action figures. And they don't do that with WWE. They have the kids playing with them or something, but they just had so much fun. I'm jumping around a little bit, but I thought that was a good segue from Hot Wheels into the toy action. One more thing I wanted to talk about. Butcher and Blade, boy, did their outfits really were the drizzling shits. They were wearing this weird all white, and the Butcher was wearing these nerdy ass Walter White glasses. He looked like he was like a tattoo artist that also ran like an adopted pet shelter.
I've seen them described as, I think, as like artisanal bakers, from Williamsburg. But you've seen what they used to look like, right? When they first debuted, they kind of Which do you prefer, the like artisanal baker look, or this like going out Saturday night fetish party kind of look?
Fetish party.
Okay. Yeah, I like both. I'm into the all white. It doesn't make any sense, but yeah. I'm not mad at it. I feel that I took them more seriously as almost like this. Like, I almost saw them
as a bartender barback duo. like Butcher is a bartender, and he's like and Blade is the plucky barback that just wants to get good tips. And I saw them as just like there's a fight going on. Those two are at, and I seen them in the white tees. Took that away a little bit for me. But I still like them, and I like the match. I thought it was good, even though the rules didn't matter in this one. They literally, Pentagon dragged Phoenix to the corner to get tagged, and the ref didn't say anything.
That was so dumb. Yeah, and that, like, it's one of the issues, sort of an issue, I don't know what to call it, but one of the things I noticed with FTR matches is I noticed the rules, because that's their whole gimmick, so it makes me notice how often nobody pays attention to them, which is like, and like later on with the three-way match, or the trios match, they were breaking rules all the time, but I didn't care as much because it was like everybody was going for it. But because FTR, that's their thing, it just makes it worse when I see those things, when the Lucha Brothers do that. Does that make sense?
No, it does make sense, because it's like, it's a sore thumb, like it just like it stands out when you're next to FTR, which I think is a very good thing in my perspective, because I think it's going to start to change a little bit more and more frequently. At least that's my perspective. I could be wrong, because the thing is, if FTR is the only one following the rules, it's either they're going to help everyone else, or everyone else is going to destroy FTR.
No,
that's my concern, is that FTR is just going to be like, fuck it, no one's obeying the rules.
No, it's actually really cool, because it's one thing I wrote down was that I feel like they're making everyone better. Like, if you're in an FTR match, it's just the ring psychology and the thought process behind the match is just like raised on a different level. Or maybe I'm just like used to overthinking an FTR match and noticing every little detail because they've like taught me to do that. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel it. I feel like they're just going to be a really good thing for all of like tag team wrestling in AEW.
I agree, and I'm very excited about them. We go on to the FTR and Elite celebration afterward, where the Elite brought out some beers as some sort of reconciliation to make it up to FTR. And then we had FTR end up pouring a beer can over Kenny Omega's head. What are your thoughts?
Honestly, I was a little confused. I don't know why they're being so mean to Kenny. I don't know. Like, did I miss something? Like, what did he do to them? Like, other than he has the belt, they want the belt. That's a thing. But he's just being a nice guy. He doesn't even drink, and he's like offering it. That's a nice thing to do.
Well, the issue was last week they offered it to Kenny Omega and Hangman Page, or Kenny Omega and the Elite, and Kenny Omega poured the beer out.
Yeah.
He fired the first shot. Kenny Omega fired the first shot. And then they come out with beers and like, oh, Revival, you want a match. Everything's good now. And they hand him a beer, and they're just like, I get the reaction, personally. I don't mind the storyline. You have you don't think there's any warrant to it?
Hold on. Let's stop for a second. Your mic is like when you move it, the whole wire. Like, I think because the wire,
I'll put my phone on here so it pulls the wire. Is this better?
Yeah, because I can see it's like this thing on your wire, and when you move, it kind of hits your shirt. So if there's a way to clip it to your shirt, maybe, or something.
I've already done a thing where it won't touch my shirt anymore.
Okay, cool. All right, sorry.
I'm going through that the entire thing.
No. I just noticed it because you were getting like more energetic, and I just noticed it, and it took me out of my game of like, I'm not sure if I should tell you, or I just thought it'd be better to stop right now.
We're keeping this in.
Are you really?
The show.
Yeah, you said it at the top.
I kind of like it. It's fun. We get just a quick thing I forgot to mention: the finish for the FTR Lucha Brothers mask, where they removed Phoenix's mask. And I thought that what a great way to get a clean finish, but it's outsmarting them and using their showiness against them. Having a mask is pretty showy. It's not a helpful tool in wrestling. It's debilitating. And for them to take it off and distract them in that way, I thought that was great. I was such a big fan of that.
Well, yeah, because they follow their gimmick. They're using the rules. Like, there's nothing against taking off a luchador's mask. It is in Mexico and other places, but in AEW it doesn't matter. So you can do that, and it'll mess them up. So I thought that was a super smart way to do that, and to get around like that sort of 50-50 booking style they were going for.
Big fan. And then we move on to Jericho and Cassidy. They have an in-ring segment where Jericho talks trash Cassidy, and then he gets juiced. He gets the juice bath. What were your thoughts on this moment?
I mean, I thought it was fun. I think I wrote down Jericho is just like a really good businessman. I didn't care about a Orange Cassidy rematch. I thought it was done, but by the end of it, he like was pushing me to want a rematch, and now I want to see them like wrestle again. So
yeah,
he's good at that. I thought I liked Orange Cassidy's like gladiator, like Joaquin Phoenix, like thumbs down thing or whatever. I thought that was awesome. And I forgot, is it Santana or Ortiz that slipped? I think it's Santana.
Lord. I think it's Ortiz.
It's Ortiz. I meant to look this up. I'm a dummy. I just forget it with tag teams, and I'm not like super familiar with them like as the others.
Unless they're a foot taller, do I recognize the difference? It took me 6 months to determine Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt.
Okay. Yeah, but let's call him Ortiz. Yeah, but Ortiz, the way he slips, I thought was so funny. Especially, he just keeps slipping and falling. I think that's like his over the top like mannerisms are so good, and the fact that nobody else was slipping, like everyone was just like very casually just standing there. He's like, it's just so good. Yeah, that was my favorite part.
Ortiz is a frequent showcase on WrestleBotch on Instagram. Plug to WrestleBotch on Instagram because they have a Supercell Sunday. So on Sunday they just show people that have sold just over the top, and he is frequently on there, and I love it. Oh, he's such a fun. Like he gives a lot, and he has a lot of fun doing it. But yeah, I like the segment. I thought it was real good. We went on to Jurassic Express. Just talking about the segment where Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy call Chris Jericho an idiot. And then Luchasaurus talks about how he's 65 million years old. And they're going to how'd you feel about that little mini segment there?
Super bad. Terrible. I thought it was really bad. I understood later on in the show that they were doing it to set up Jericho wrestling them next week. But it made no sense the way they were doing it. There's no heart. I wrote down right afterwards, Jericho's, started yelling about how he reeks of OJ. I reek of OJ. JR? OJ JR. He just started screaming. And I thought
OJ, old JR.
Oh, old JR. Oh, I even missed something. Yeah, I thought that was a better promo than what they did because it had emotion, it had heart, it was a little bit more original, and it was actually funny than anything they did. Not to get on Jurassic Express, but I don't know.
No, we should, because I'm about to. Marco Stunt, I just wrote down from that segment, Marco Stunt pisses me off. Just everything about the guy. Let's just go right in Jurassic Express versus the Elite. We have Jurassic Express versus Elite. The Elite gets the win here. Boy, I have a lot of problems with Jurassic Express, I think. I feel that Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy don't need to be in the same company.
What?
I think they look very similar, and they have very similar movesets. Marco Stunt, much more of a... again, I'll go back to him being a combination of Blue Meanie, and I said Spike Dudley last week, but he's a combination of Blue Meanie and Lita. Yeah. Like almost literally, like their moves, like Lita's moveset with Blue Meanie's comedic ability, and they combined into him. And I don't mind him as a singular character, but they look exactly the same. Only one's like 6 inches shorter. I don't like it. I don't like it, and I don't like how they specifically Jurassic Express sets up things so intricately that everyone has to wait for them to get accomplished.
Oh, it's one of those things again. Yeah, you mentioned another team last week with the same issue. Private Party. You had that issue with Private Party.
Yeah. Like Young Bucks are able to do it seamlessly. The Lucha Bros are able to do it seamlessly. And unless you can do it seamlessly, should you even try?
I think when they're like firing in all cylinders, I think it's the same issue as Private Party because I think they're really good when they're all on the same page. But it's a high risk, high reward when they're doing that style where if you botch one moment, then it just, it's like a domino effect. You'll screw up the whole flow of the whole thing. I thought that, I don't even know what to call it, but like in the later portion of the match where like they toss Marco Stunt and then Jungle Boy like kicks his feet, Marco Stunt's feet, so he does like a weird helicopter tornado DDT thing. Like I thought that was fantastic.
Yeah, but those are few and far between. I feel like out of every 4 things they do, half of them are destroyed by a botch. One is kind of a hiccup, and one is done flawlessly.
I feel
25% of the time it's done flawlessly, and the rest there's a mistake.
I feel you. Yeah, I feel like we could talk more about Marco Stunt, really break him down. But I also
we should do a Marco Stunt episode.
I'd be down for that. Yeah, I think that'd be fun.
Hey, we're figuring this out, folks. Loser Lee's wrestling.
I'll splice that into the beginning, so it makes it seem like we didn't screw up the intro.
No, it's good. It gives us character, Mohit.
Red, I found a new weekly segment throughout this match, and I don't have a clever name for it. I don't have a clever name, but I think is what did Red think of this week's Canadian Destroyer? So there was a big Canadian Destroyer from the apron into the ring. What'd you think, Red? What'd you think?
Again. It's this. Well, actually, when it's done at that type of height, it makes a lot of sense because he's hoisted up on the shoulders, and then the flip makes sense. It's when they're on the ground that it makes zero sense at all. Because they literally have to lift you up. This, they're using the momentum to take them over, which I'm fine with. The setup for it was brutal. Was absolutely brutal. They were all standing there as they were waiting to set this up. It was so hard. It was so hard to watch. They
also were selling, right? And so they were walking slowly. They were like holding, their backs and stuff. And so it just looked like a bunch of old men just like setting up properly and just doing this. And then they speed forward and do the crazy thing. And the crazy thing, I don't know, was worth it for me. But it was also, it was absurd.
What?
If the point is, if the style of the match is supposed to be like, this is a real fight, which a majority of wrestling matches like follow those rules, then that's a ridiculous moment. But this one's in the middle because there's like the wrestling dinosaur in there, and then there's Marco Stunt. There's elements that scream in your face, like this isn't supposed to be like taken too seriously, but we are going to kick some ass. So it's an interesting dynamic.
It is. But not to get too in the weeds on this, but I feel that the best wrestling can take elements of supernatural. I would love to see Luchasaurus be that dominant 65 million year old character, but that's his character, but he's in a fight. In a fight, you do specific things for specific reasons. I feel like specifically Jurassic Express, because they're all very athletic. They're all very athletic and they're all very talented, but they're so focused on getting their shit in that they forget that Luchasaurus is a monster, and he should be portrayed as that. He's the tallest person in the company, I think, right up there with Brody Lee. I feel like he should be I don't think Marco Stunt or Jungle Boy should get that much offense on these wrestlers. They're taking heat so that he could come in and Titus O'Neil everyone.
That's a weird reference to make out of all the people.
Players.
Yeah.
Oh, fine. Or Big Cass everyone.
It's not that, but I get it. I thought that happened. I thought he cleaned house really well. He had his moment where he proved himself in the match where you could see why he's a wrestler to be feared in storyline. I don't know. Yeah.
I guess I don't want him to change anything. I don't want him to be more offensive. I want Marco Stunt and Jungle Boy to be more defensive. The fact that they're going so much offense on the elite, they're called the elite. They are the top of the company, and that Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt is able to knock Kenny Omega down and flex on him, and Kenny Omega's like, whoa! He begs off to Marco's Stunt.
Yeah, that's annoying. That's terrible.
Absolutely furious when that happens.
I thought it started slow. The match overall started really slow, and it picked up by the end. And I think a lot of that is Marco Stunt. Not entirely, but I remembered that back and forth the most, where it didn't make sense for him to like jump up and actually have some offense. He's really good at getting beat up, and he's really good at getting thrown around like Enzo as a weapon, which they do occasionally. And I think that's what I enjoy the most seeing out of him.
Yeah.
I also real
True.
quick.
I just feel that.
Oh no! Wait, what were you saying?
No, go.
I was gonna.
No,
change.
I was gonna say that I feel that's what Jungle Boy's for.
Yeah.
I feel like Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy are a perfect team. I feel like they are very good. He could be the Enzo to his big Cass. Perfect symmetry. Marco Stunt, bless him, does not. He's too similar to Jungle Boy in almost every aspect. It's two little guys running around, and Jungle Boy's a better wrestler, and he's more believable. He's able to make that fiery comeback without looking like an asshole. Marco Stunt messes up everything. Mm-hmm. There was 4 times in that match that I counted where Marco Stunt couldn't be thrown properly, like where he messed up being lifted into the ring or he stuttered with something. There's a few times. I don't want to rag on Marco Stunt. Seems like a nice guy.
I had a before we move on, I just wanted to mention something I thought was really great about this match. Was there is like this little mini story of Kenny Omega taking off his shirt, and I don't know, did you notice that? I thought it was so good, this little thing where he doesn't respect. I don't know if that, maybe that's too harsh, but he just didn't take them seriously, the Jurassic Express. So he comes out with his shirt on, he's just kind of joking around. He gets put up against Marco Stunt again, and so like he doesn't take him seriously because he shouldn't, but then like a moment happens where he gets, I don't even know what happens actually. He gets kicked or he gets kind of beat up a little bit. And then he's like, oh, it's on. He takes off his shirt. And then that's when the tag happens and they're forced to break and he has to get out again. And I just thought that was just like a great little thing, like a little thing.
And that was all Jericho. That was all Jericho. Jericho was the one saying that the entire time. That was Jericho just riffing and making such a good commentator. Just being such a good commentator with giving us that kind of context that, oh, his shirt's still on. Obviously, he's not taking it seriously. And that's why it made a little bit more sense for Marco Stunt to get to that kind of offense. But I just still am upset with Marco Stunt getting any offense. That's not surprise.
Okay, fair.
Then we move on to the Shida interview, the women's champion. She does a quick, simple interview. I thought it was short and sweet. What did you think?
I thought it was awkward. I think, there was a language barrier, but I'm okay with that. But it added to the awkwardness, not sure. Not meaning that against her, necessarily, but also awkward because I didn't really understand what she was trying to get across, or like it just seemed to lack emotion. Like I think, yeah. So I don't know. It just hit flat for me.
I definitely saw the language barrier, but the thing is, like, I feel like that was a very old school promo. Hey, you don't have the passion. I'm going to beat you in the ring. And I feel AEW needs to simplify their promos, and almost like she hit the perfect one for me, where it's just like short, sweet. She's learning. She's getting better. But I think they should have given that note to Jurassic Express.
Yeah.
And said a similar note, short and sweet, get what you want across. And then you build, you build over time once you get comfortable. None of Jurassic Express is comfortable talking on the mic.
No.
But they're given the free reign where they're able to say anything they want. Now, Shida, the women's champion, she's just like, I need to say this. I need to say this. I need to say this. I'm going to say it as best as I can within my ability. I liked it because it was only 10 seconds long, and that was that's the best part of AEW, when they give me something short and digestible.
I guess you're right. I don't know. I actually thought the way you described that promo, I thought was what Moxley did later on, but I guess we can wait until we talk about that.
That's right next. That's the next one. John Moxley, he has this very good Mohit.
I didn't know that was next.
Excellent segue, Mohit. You got us right into it. John Moxley gives a promo just talking about what he's going to do with Cage tonight. He calls attention to the Taz technique segment from last week. What were your thoughts, Mohit?
I thought it was excellent. I thought it got across how it added a storyline element to their match later on. It gave me intrigue of how Moxley was going to get across, his strategy. He used really vicious kind of almost cartoony language of like ripping his bicep in half. I think it got everything across. It brought his character out. It got a storyline across. Yeah, it was fantastic.
Excellent. I do have a small issue with Moxley just in his character. I find his character be a smidge annoying, but I think that's personal. That's something with my own mental deficits and disorders. I think I do like the promo. I think he did a good job. We move on to the Nightmare Sisters versus Paige and Jenkins. Fine.
Terrible.
Oh, Lord. What do you got?
I just think I don't like it. I don't like this storyline. I like that they're given a storyline. I want to see more like women's storylines in AEW, and I want to see more of Allie and Brandy, but I don't like that this particular storyline has a man as the focus of it. It's another fake romance, and I also don't see why they're being so mean to Allie yet. Because she hasn't done, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. She hasn't done anything wrong yet. She's a little off, but they're like being so mean to her.
You know, you're right. I said fine in terms of the context of the kind of squash match, which I was fine with. I was fine with that, 5-minute match. The context with the story, yeah, there's a lot to be desired. I feel like Brandy, I don't know her. I don't know anything about her, but I feel like she gives a lot of input and she's trying to figure out what sticks. You know, like she tried with the one thing, which I was happy that she tried. And I love Karma. I love, why are we calling her Karma? I love
Awesome Kong.
Awesome Kong.
Yeah.
I love her. But that didn't work out. She's trying a different thing right now. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and saying this is her brainchild because she does have some sway and she does have some stroke. I think she's just trying to figure out. She hasn't had that much experience in the wrestling business to exactly know what she wants. She's figuring it out. Yeah. I'm not mad at the storyline. I'm just not sure of it yet. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully they'll make that more clear. And I do agree with you. That is glaring once you look at it.
Yeah. I mean, because this is pro wrestling and wrestling storylines are like traditionally pretty simple. Like, yes, she is eventually going to like turn on them and it's going to be probably some stupid master plan sort of scenario, but she hasn't done that yet. And they're just being so like, they're just judging every aspect of her. And QT Marshall seems happy. He's wasting his money on new cars and stuff, but he seems like he's having a good time with her. There's nothing wrong with this until it happens. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is all a part of, this is me playing Booker. This is all a part of Cody's heel split, Cody's heel turn. And they are extensions of each other. They work together as a team. And I feel like almost like they're both being heelish, you know, like she's been a heel. Brandy's been a heel.
I hadn't thought of it that way. Yeah, maybe
he's been a heel since day one, and I feel like Cody has been a heel from day one, but he's been given this adulation from everyone for no reason besides he started the company. Like he started the company, cool, we love you for it, awesome. He's taking that, and he's still being a heel the entire time. Him and Brandy have never changed. That's my take on it.
See, I hadn't thought of them trying to be heels because Allie just so freshly came away from like being the manager of Butcher and Blade and being a heel. But now, and she's like kind of being prepped to being a heel, but maybe that's not the point of that storyline at all. And then I would be into that. If she's actually just being a normal but kind of weird person.
Yeah. She's being her character that she's developed. And Brandy is just, this is my hope. I have no idea. The way they book things is, you know.
With Brandy specifically, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that possibility. But what's great about AEW is you could actually make this kind of speculation and potentially be right. Like in our next segment, when Nyla Rose decides that her is Vicky Vicky Guerrero, and I called it last week. You can check the record books. It was last week I called it.
You're very proud, aren't you? No, I want to know your thoughts, man. This is all on you because I can't believe you called it. I was so shocked last week when you nailed it. They hadn't announced it yet, obviously, but even then I knew that you got it. So, yeah.
I think Vicky is a perfect pairing. When she came out, she gave a great for the stipulations of AEW, where you're coming up with your own stuff. I thought she did a great job the first time out doing that type of format. And my biggest, and Nyla, in the background while Vicky was talking, all I could think about is, why can't Brian Cage do that?
Just stare at the camera.
Just stare at the camera, menacing, cut your throat, look at the camera, grimace. Like, that's what Cage needs to be doing when Taz is talking. But Cage is just walking around like, you get it. You know, you already said I'm with him. Like, it's very, like, she was her own person. Vicky gave a great promo, just very simple, like, be on notice, and that's all you have to do. What are your thoughts? What do you think?
No, it's pretty nuts because I thought I didn't like her because I only remember her from like early to mid 2000s, and I was so annoyed by her and her whole like, excuse me, that whole thing. So annoyed. But when she came out now, I loved it. And I think 2020 Vicky Guerrero is perfect as she comes out during the rise of the Karens. She's a perfect Karen stereotype, you know, as a character. And she was way, way ahead of her time. She saw this I need to talk to your manager type of gimmick. Yeah.
You're so on point. You're so on point that Vicky Guerrero is the queen of the Karens. She's the Karen queen. In all honesty, AEW should really trademark that. The Karen queen. Because that is so perfect for the time. Yeah, big fan. Great job. Excellent work. After we have the Nyla Rose and Vicky Guerrero segment, before we get to the main event, they had a preview for the next week. And I'm not talking about any of the matches. I listened to a lot of podcasts, and I heard Eric...
Just the way you're like, listen.
This is exhausting.
It's exhausting. Oh, Eric Bischoff is exhausting. Yeah.
That's so exhausting. But he gave a great point on promoting. And he gave this one point on one of his, he says that on every single one of his podcasts, and it's annoying. He's very repetitive. He's like, why are we giving away all the matches of next week today? You know, like, there's something to be said about anticipation. This is a live show. It's not pre-taped. You can't look up the results. Why are we telling people what they're going to see next week so they could decide whether or not to see it? I feel like AEW and WWE, and I agree with that point entirely. Yeah, unless it's a taped show, even if it is a taped show, don't say it. Let me just go in, unless it's a big match, unless it's a part of storyline where they're going to say, hey, like there was a storyline where like John Mox is like, I'm going to face you, Brody Lee, next week, then say it. But they gave away the entire lineup in that preview of what's going to happen next week. And I felt that was very, now looking at it with those kind of glasses, I think it's not a very good maneuver, and I wish they wouldn't. What are your thoughts on that type of marketing?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that because I think I'm just indifferent to it. I don't know if I have an opinion either way. With the last 3 weeks, it's hard for me to think of on the spot how I feel about that because the last 3 weeks were like these like TV pay-per-view style events. So like you needed to know the entire card. So since they showed all of that again, like for next week's card, they showed the entire thing. I think I've just gotten used to it. So I'm not sure how I feel about it. I was okay with it. But yeah.
I just like the idea of being surprised. I'd rather go into a show not knowing the matches, personally.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love surprises and I hate spoilers. I feel like even knowing the matches is some sort of spoiler.
I guess so. Yeah. Did they have any surprises tonight? Anything big?
Vicky Guerrero.
Oh, Chris Jericho talked too, but that was yeah. And oh my god, they replayed that so many times throughout the whole episode.
It was
The
pretty.
the
I'm
hit
fine with them playing that. I'm fine with the juice bath. I'm going to call it the juice bath. We're coining that here.
juice bath.
Juice bath. And they should do that more often. They should so do that more often. That should be his bloodbath. And he does it only for his big feuds.
Orange Cassidy.
The orange bath
Yeah.
comes down when he gives the thumbs down, the weak thumbs down.
Yeah, that was really
it's a
good.
weak thumbs up and a weak thumbs down. Now we move on to the main event of the evening. We got Paige versus Moxley, with Moxley getting the W here. How'd you feel about the match, Mohit?
I thought it was okay. I thought the ending was pretty great. I thought it was fantastic. But everything up leading into it, I don't know. To me, it sort of felt like it was having trouble getting into gear. Maybe it was because it was a TV match. Like maybe they were worried about time. I don't know. Something just kind of felt off because I know Cage has so much potential and he could do so much more. But I don't know. Overall, I loved how Moxley targeted the arm, the bicep that he was doing. I thought a lot of great, arm breakers and things like that. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I don't see that a lot now, or that style of wrestling. It's like an old school style of I think of Bret Hart. He was so good at that. His entire moveset was around the sharpshooter. And I think, I don't know, I sort of missed that style. And so Moxley got to, show a hint of it. But yeah, that's it in general besides the ending. What'd you think?
Well, I do get the awkwardness that you saw. I feel like a majority of that is like working kind of like a hardcore match where they went out into the crowd. That's Moxley's style match. It's hard to do with no crowd. Him coming out through the audience makes no sense. Coming out through the stands, I thought was like a immediate, made me feel weird. And then his match where they go out into the stands, half of the reason you go out into the public is to get the reaction of you hitting them with a chair right next to someone. Like everyone in that area, and you're filming that area, loses their shit because you're right there. So having that, I felt that threw me off a little bit. They get back in the ring. Like you said, though, that finish, throwing in the towel, smartest. What a great way to finish it, because it doesn't lose on any of Cage's credibility. It shows what Taz is trying to do, where he doesn't want him to lose, and he doesn't. He doesn't want him to lose his arm, which is another thing. There's so much to it because that's his meal ticket. I love that term, meal ticket. I think that was Jericho that said it. I don't know. But
what do you like about it? What do you like about meal ticket?
It makes sense for a manager. Like the thing is, like no one. I don't think that's used enough as a reason why a manager manages a wrestler. Is that's their meal ticket. That's their reason they're getting money right now. And so if they get damaged somehow, they're out for 6 months. I'm not getting a paycheck.
That is such a good point. Yeah, because I don't think we see reasons why managers decide to manage their particular wrestler. I don't think that happens that often.
And that's why I think AEW is doing such a great job, because they're saying these words that they don't say anymore. Meal ticket, the purse, you make more money when you're a champion. These type of things that give value to the championship. It gives value to the managers. It makes sense for the wrestlers to have a manager, because now there's a second person watching their back for the same reason they're in the ring. I feel like that was such a great finish. An issue I have, and this is a small issue. Who better than Cage? Does that bother you that it's Canyon's exact gimmick?
Oh, yeah. Wasn't that Taz's as well? Or
no.
I just assumed it was Taz's. I was thinking about the other guy this whole time, wasn't I? Who better than...
It's who better than Canyon?
Who better
than Canyon? What I love that when the invasion happened, when the WCW invasion happened, and I feel like, I don't know, give some props, or don't use the guy who died from suicide. Don't use his gimmick.
Yeah, that's a good point. I hadn't thought of that. That's really funny.
I don't think Taz ever said that. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know ACW that well, so maybe he did say it. But I feel like that's a Canyon gimmick, what I remember. And if you're using the guy who commits suicide's gimmick, man, that's bad karma.
I feel like a few different wrestlers throughout the decades have used that phrase, but Canyon definitely made it popular in his own bubble with WCW. Mid-card WCW.
Fan. I was such a Canyon fan. That was the only guy that I loved from the Invasion.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then at the end of the night, we had Darby come out, and we had him reignite his feud with Brian Cage. And thank God, we didn't get another video.
Oh,
what are your thoughts, Mohit?
No, imagine, man, what if he dropped off of a really big building and then he landed on this big spray paint image of Brian Cage and he just looks at him and it's like, that's gonna be your real face or something with black and white and lots of gothic music. Oh, that would have been so much cooler.
You're making it so difficult to do this podcast, Mohit.
Okay, fine. I'll hold that. I'll wait until episode 10, and then we'll make that the Darby Allin episode.
But I enjoyed it. I'm fine with Brian Cage moving on to Darby Allin. I think they're going to have a great match. I think their styles will complement each other very well. I don't know if Moxley and Cage, their styles complement each other that well. I think they...
I don't know who compliments Moxley at all after this. I like Moxley a lot, but every Moxley match I get hyped for, I end up not caring about it. So I don't know what to think of him. But
I think Moxley does well with other brawlers. I think he does well with other brawlers. A powerhouse, he has to give up too much. And I don't think Moxley's keen on selling. He's not like Roman Reigns, where Roman Reigns will sell his ass off to get over a big guy. He's always about like, well, I'm going to beat you with a chair. I'm going to beat you with this. I'm going to get you that. And he doesn't sell the fact that he's facing a big man.
Yeah.
He never sell, like with him with Brody Lee, it was an even affair. And I feel like, no, Brody Lee should manhandle you. You get your advantages through chairs and tables and fighting outside the ring. And I feel like Moxley doesn't wrestle that way.
Yeah, I think they sort of had that style in the Brody Lee match. Like they kind of like had that, like he had to resort to really dramatic moments to get that across. But I see what you mean in the match, the moment to moment, it didn't really come across. But you have to pay attention. Whoops, I just hit my mic. You have to pay attention to like just the last major moments of that match to get an idea. Like, oh, he had to choke him out in order to win. But I didn't really feel that throughout the match. So, yeah, anyways, not to talk too much about that match. But, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited about Darby Allin. I think I agree with you. I think that is going to be fantastic. I think I'm really excited because Cage is, like, very excited. It's all good. Yeah, no, I'm really excited because I think they'll work well together. I lost my train of thought. God damn it.
This mic.
I'm just parroting you. I'm sorry.
We're trying, audience. We're trying so hard. Well, I thought it was a win overall the night. I thought it was a good night, good wrestling. I was excited about everything, or at least most of it. What are your big woos and whats of the night? The woos and whats, Mohit. What do we got? What's your big woo of the night?
Oh, God, I forgot to write down the woos and whats again.
No, off the top of your head. Don't think about it.
Darby Allin.
Okay.
No,
okay.
I don't know. That's just the last thing I thought of. What did I like the most? I liked the Canadian Destroyer. I thought that was the coolest move of the night. I think, yeah, it did take a long time to set up, but it was also something I've never seen before, just like last week's Canadian Destroyer, which is becoming an issue. I'll give you that, but I liked it. I thought it was cool. Yeah, that's my woo.
Okay, my woo of the night, hands down, Vicky Guerrero, proving me right, all about it. And also, what a great treasure. I feel like she is I missed her. I loved her as a manager. I know you didn't, and I understand why you didn't. And that's why I loved her, is because she was so piercingly annoying. So nails on a chalkboard. And I thought her coming back, and for that being her first non-scripted promo ever. She's
Really?
not a worker. Well, she's not a worker from different territories. She's only worked in WWE.
Fair.
And WWE are all scripted promos. For her to come out and give that kind of promo, I feel like just shows what she's going to be able to do in the future. She's so smart. She's such a great character. Very excited about it. What's your big...
Oh, and small doses too. I think what I loved about that was we just got a small glimpse of her, whereas she was overused when she was on SmackDown all those years ago. It just drove me crazy. But
yeah,
little glimpses of her, she's perfect. Just piss me off just a little bit. Just push that button and then get out of my life until next week. And it's great.
You're right. And that's the great thing about AEW as well. They don't inundate you with anything besides Chris Jericho. And that's the only one we're allowed to have. I'm fine with being inundated with Chris Jericho. What's your big what of the night? The thing that bothered you the most? The thing that you wanted to what at?
Oh, definitely the Nightmare Sisters. I don't have any faith in it. I'm going to say that. I don't know where it's going. I don't know how. Yeah, I think... I don't know what they're doing. I think they're in a dead end. Because this is take 2 of Brandy trying to reinvent herself, and I think it's going nowhere. So I feel bad for them.
Lord. No, that's fair. That's very fair, and I'm concerned of that as well. But I'm trying to be optimistic about it. I guess my what of the week. Marco Stunt.
Yeah, I knew it. Yeah. I knew that was going to be
Marco Stunt. I think he's like a very talented guy. I just don't see his place. I don't see his place. I feel like in matches he's a distraction. I feel like in storylines he's a distraction. I don't find him credible. Oh man, I'm being mean to him.
That's pretty dramatic.
I love you, Marco. Oh man,
that was so dramatic. I don't see his place. Me. Dramatic music at you.
Ready for it?
Yeah, I still think he's really good in squash matches. Like he was really good putting Lance Archer over and whatnot. But yeah, I see what you mean. He's got some work to do to figure out his place in AEW.
Yeah, 100%. Any other closing comments you have about Fyter Fest?
No.
Not Fyter Fest. About Fight for the Fallen.
I think we handled it. I don't know. I thought it was pretty good. Yeah.
I think we did such a perfect job. We did such a perfect thing. And thing I want to discuss with you, might as well do it real quick right now. I would love for us to do live streams during the commercial breaks of AEW. I would just love for us to just pop in, give our critique of what just happened, and then pop off once it goes back on.
Oh, that'd be fun. Yeah, I've seen like the Oscar parties doing that and other What we would just
it now. This is our idea.
So we're just live streaming for like 30-second bursts.
30. It's actually
a minute, 2-minute bursts. Yeah, and then
pop it off. We don't want to disturb you.
Just our dumb faces in between every segment. Yeah, not bad.
I mean, it's fun. But thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for subscribing. Please subscribe to our YouTube, our Instagram, our Twitter. We've got it all. It's Loser Leaves Pod for everything, correct?
Yes, correct.
Loser Leaves Podcast. It's Loser Leaves Pod on all those social media platforms. My name is Red Jefferson at Red_Jefferson. That's Mohit Jaswal at Mohit Jaswal1.
Yes, on Instagram. Yeah, or just Mohit Jaswal on Twitter.
You're going to be able to find them. One time I did a search for you and there's another Mohit Jaswal. Oh, we won't discuss them. We will not discuss them.
I used to be the only Mohit Jaswal on the internet. Those are great days.
You got some competition.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for watching. We're going to be back next week. We should have a sign off or something.
I think that'd be fun. Yeah, we should figure that out. Do you want to figure it out now?
Yeah, let's do it. One we should do, na 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 na.
Na 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 na. Oh wait, you mean the song? Na 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 na. Hey, copyright.
We want to talk about that. They did something. Oh, one quick thing. This is already over. This is bonus content right now. The Miller Lite cans that were crossed out with Sharpie.
What? Where?
When the Elite came out with Miller cans and they were crossed out with Sharpie, they get copyright. They understand what to do. We have to learn from them.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. Maybe we just censor everything. Just everyone's faces. Every move set. So it's just bodies, just shirtless, oiled bodies, just punching each other.
We're going to end every show with na 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 copyright. That's perfect. That's the best way to end this show.